Check, 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 check. All right. We good? All right. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. How y'all feeling? Great? Alive? With your hands? Hallelujah. Psalm 73 and 1. To react or to adapt. To react or to adapt. We coming over here to Psalm 73 just because I want to give the Most High some praise. Sometimes, when we going through doctrine and when we dealing with, situations, the most important thing can get lost in the shuffle. 73 and 1. The Most High can get lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? We be so caught up in what we want to believe or so caught up in what we want to say that, the overall, which is piety or respect for the Most High and love for the Most High, get lost. You know what I'm saying? Psalm 73 and 1.
Psalms 73 and 1.
Psalm 73 and 1. Come on.
Truly, Elohim is good to Yisrael.
Truly, Elohim is good to who?
Yisrael.
Truly, he is good to Israel. Right? Come on.
Even to such as are of a clean heart.
So the text tells you straight up and down, he good to those that are of a clean heart, right? But we also know that he says that he makes it rain on the what?
Just.
This is an Elohim that has full and complete power, right? Full and complete power, but yet he still finds time to let it rain on the just and on the unjust, right? But the beautiful thing is he says that he is good to Israel, even those that are of a clean heart. So the bottom line is we need to have a clean heart to Elohim. And everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we are about, whatever we put our minds to, our hearts to, our hands to, we need to have a clean heart. Hallelujah. Let's get the Most High a round of applause right quick. All right. To adapt or to react. When you think about them two things, what comes to mind? To adapt or to react? What comes in your mind? Right. What you say? Survival on which one? Or on both? Both. Okay. Anybody else? To adjust. To adjust. That's the adaptation. All right. What are we told to do or taught to do when it comes to reacting and adapting? What are we taught to do or told to do when it comes to reacting or adapting? To what? Just in general. What is the general thought process behind a reaction? What should you do? Think. Think before you do, right? Think before you react. Because that thought could save you a whole lot of turmoil, right? The slightest reaction to something could cause you an eternity of pain, right? A lot of times when people just react, not every time, but a lot of time, it's because they're overwhelmed with emotion in the moment and they just go and they just do something. You know what I'm saying? As believers, the only thing that we are told to just react to is what Yah say. Other than that, these things that are concerning this realm, this earth, the stuff that happen around us, we have to begin to get the mind to think first, then move. Right? Do me a favor, Quad. Grab Romans chapter 15, verse 4. I'm gonna say something that we probably a lot of us ain't gonna like and agreeing here too, as well. But you know, it's necessary. Told y'all I ain't holding no more punches. Romans 15:4.
Romans 15:4.
Come on.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime, were written for our learning.
They were written for our what?
Our learning.
They were written for our learning. So the things that we see that happened in the text before, they were written down for our what?
Learning.
How do you learn something? In this instant. Absolutely. So we take what we get, this information, we assess what transpired, we grab the principle or the chief thing that we are supposed to take from this, and we apply it to today, right? Learning, adapting, right? What you got?
I can listen to what you're telling me right now, and I learned it for the moment, but that's why I say meditate day and night, because it's a repetition. True.
Retain, absolutely. To actually get in information and do what with it? Process it, right? Process the information, because once you truly process the information, now I can make a educated decision, right? Go ahead and read that.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience.
That we through what?
Patience.
Patience and reaction. Adaptation, right? When you think of patience, which word do you associate patience with? Adaptation, right? He said through patience and what?
Comfort.
Of the scriptures, that we might have
hope.
Hope. Faith is the substance of things what? But the evidence of things that are not. So we are searching for this salvation, this coming of Messiah to save us. And we have to do what? We got to learn. We have to adapt, right? We have to make sure, or make our calling and election sure, right? In that, there's a lot of stuff that we've done over the years where we just reacted because of what we read. And it was like, bro, that's not going to hold up over time. You didn't take the time to actually learn it, right? We are looking at the stuff that was written for our learning, right? I want to walk something down to y'all real quick. I was talking to my wife about this. A lot of the issues that we deal with in our community come from us not really taking in consideration what happened in the past and adapting for our present and our coming future. So let's go back to slavery. All right? Said no, let's not go back to slavery. Oh, no, let's not go back to slavery. But let's think. Right? Anybody familiar with Nat Turner? What you know about Nat Turner? Oh. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's exactly where I'm going with it, though. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Anybody else about that? He led a rebellion. Yeah. Okay. He led a rebellion. It wasn't just his, like he said, it wasn't just his slave owner's house. It started there. But then it went, they hit all the areas. Right? Thinking about it now, what can we pull from that situation outside of the rebellion? Just thinking. He did what? He reacted. And what happened? What happened with that reaction? Death, destruction. What else? Boiled him and ate him. Whew. What else though? What are some nuances that we're not thinking about?
All of the other slaves around them that was at good positions, that was living okay, they all turned, all the white folks turned to them and considered them enemies as well. So he affected the livelihood of people who lived on the plantations, who worked in the plantations, because them slaves ran the plantations.
Yeah.
They took a lot of people's jobs away, took a lot of people's houses away, they burned the plantations down. They just didn't burn the big house down. They burned the shacks down.
Yeah.
Totally against us being slaves. So
Yeah.
that's everything. It just affected all his whole community.
Okay. I like it. Anybody else? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you got?
And he also knew that when he got the brothers together, so he knew that we were Israel, he knew that we were under his commandments, and he knew that it would be impossible to be able to go back to that while white people were ruling him, while
Yeah.
enemies were ruling him. The Most High they told him who we were and who they are.
Right.
And that's something we should never lose sight of.
Yeah.
They are the enemies.
Yeah.
And he knew that, and he knew he would never be able to get to where he wanted to get from, to get the people where they were dealing with the dirty South as they was back then.
Yeah. So this ideology can go two ways. It's like, hey, we getting beat on, our women getting raped, this going on, that going on. I got to make a change. I ain't about to sit here and just let you keep on running up in my wife. You got to die. Right? You can't coach that. You can't teach that. That's something that's just in you. Right? And it's not to talk against it. It's to do what from it? Learn. A lot of times we talk against the past without actually just sitting back and taking in the information to learn from it. It's not always for you to make the decision on whether it was right or wrong. Right? One thing that we don't think about is how many of them children did those men leave behind? When they died, and those wives that they left behind to now get more brutally raped and hurt. And right. So now you have to have another tumult and another one and another one. Right. Which you can look at as there was some positive change that came out of that, but just taking into the thought process that there was a sacrifice that had to be made. Right. Fast forward. You got Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King was, now that I look back on it, Martin Luther King was like a child when he was doing this thing. Not saying he was a child, like a child, but the mentality he wasn't all the way developed in his thinking. What did Martin Luther King do as a result of how he felt? He fought for us to be integrated, right? What you about to say, Ozzy? He reacted. He fought for us to be integrated, right? In retrospect, they have the better water fountains. They have the better schools. They have the better restaurants. They have the better buses. They have the better taxis. They have it better than we do. So the mentality, because remember, he told us about his dream. What was his dream? Everybody can be together. Was that a wrong dream? But what did he do? His thought process came in and said, let me try and peacefully move with my people so we can integrate. He had a 1 million man march. So we have, let's just say, 1 million men take on the ideology of Martin Luther King. That our stuff is the worst. We need to get into theirs in order to be what?
Equal.
In order for us to be equal, we have to get what they have. But according to our text, is that really something that we supposed to be doing? So we got this man who got all of these people to get on that same ideology. We need to be with them. We need to be with them, not realizing that everything that we had before was something we could call our very own. He reacted. Go ahead. Enlighten me. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, when he went to the institutions of higher learning, where he reading and things, he started socializing with the Europeans. Okay, he even had a white fiance. He didn't even, Loretta King was not his first choice. He was with a white woman.
Okay.
So his whole thing was to be white. So he's getting all these integrations and all this stuff from them. That's where he got it from them. Even when Malcolm X was out there saying the opposite, no people we have don't integrate, they were so deep in India, he was brainwashed by the man. And then, as we know, as time went on, he later came to his senses and realized that he believed his people were to burn the house. He even mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then, so at the end of the day, he realized at the end that he was actually being brainwashed, or whatever that they were pushing, he believed it. You know, and then by us being raised in Christianity, you know, they use that Bible against us too. So I wouldn't be surprised if people hired in the church or dealing with the church help manipulate him, not the black church, the white church, through people that he met in theologian schools and everything to get his education here.
Right.
So he got close to them, and they were the ones who used spirituality to lead that man to where he went to, and he finally came to his senses.
So we have a young man who finished school at 16, who was very impressionable, who saw things that we didn't see, who experienced things that we didn't experience. So he was molded and shaped into the ideology that if I can be with them, so can we, right? Not really understanding that life is a little bit different on the outside of you, right? So his reaction was to try to bring about that change where everybody was all together and equal. But that took food out of great grandma's mouth, your cousin's mouth, because now instead of us going to Aunt Millie's, right? So we're, instead of us dealing with Black Bank of Decatur, we're dealing with Bank of America, right? That ideology, we can't, it's not to say that it's wrong in the fact that he was just super off it. We're supposed to look at that and do what with it? Learn. So now moving forward, when we have the idea, we consider what transpired, right? We don't just react. Malcolm X, he was on the other side of it, right? Malcolm X is on the other side of it. Like, look, that white man is the devil. We don't get with that white man. Kill that white man if you get an opportunity, but we need to build us up, right? Now, the way that he went about it, the way that a lot of them went about it was to actually take over the neighborhoods, right? Protests. But who did they start running with to create their power? No. Not them. He had to actually get with some of them drug dealers. He actually had to get with some of them to create some type of dominance, right? Good. What did he end up doing in his run to create a more system of power in their neighborhoods? He hooked up with Bumpy Johnson, right? Hooked up with old Bumpy, right? Bumpy Johnson, one of the biggest dope dealers that America has seen, right? Wasn't necessarily a good idea, but you were scared of anything connected to Malcolm X because of Bumpy, right? Was it necessarily the right way to go? No. I know. But is a drug dealer good? I'm not talking about that. Was a drug dealer good? Somebody that's pushing pounds and pounds of cocaine into the, listen to what I'm saying. Right? So if you rub shoulders with that drug dealer, right, in order to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, that's okay. Rubbing shoulders. Let me ask you something. Hold on. Let me ask you something. What happened to those streets of Harlem due to those drugs? What type of change did it create? So was it really a good thing? No. Wasn't a good thing. It was a flip. Right? The point is for us to look at what was going on at the time. We can say it may have been necessary on some degree or whatever, but we're supposed to learn from it. Guess what else you got emerging around that time? The Black Hebrew Israelites.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? Also known as One West, home of the truth, right? Today's time, we look at them like, man, them camps, I think they ain't gonna mind. They talk about hate the white man and this and that and this and that. That ain't the way to go. Get away from them. Guess what we never do? We never think about what time those originators grew up in. We never consider some of them was under Jim Crow. We never considered some of them had mamas that got sprayed down with them hoses and dogs was attacking their family, right? To cause them to take the information that they got and push it the way they pushed it. So what did we do? When we finally found out what the truth was, what did we do? Screw them dang camps and everything they stand for. The elders don't know what they talking, and we stood firm. Did we do? Was we not 10 toes? We was 10 toes on that, and created a society that was. I would kind of say we was innovators a little bit, right? created a society where people felt like I don't have to study with the camps, right? I can study on my own and get the same type of information, the same type of knowledge. I can actually break away from those structures that they got going on, and I can learn this stuff on my own. Is that a bad thing? But what did it do? It created it because it's a reaction. Just like when we came out the church. Man, these pastors ain't no good. They teaching us lies. They this, right? We created something. Now those people who are reacting to our reaction, they lost in the wind because they ain't got no structure to fall up under. They lost in the wind because they ain't dealing with at least something or somebody. Man, we done seen all type of doctrine nowadays, right? Even to the point where in our own congregation, we had the same type of thoughts, right? I don't need them to study in the Bible, which nobody needs nobody, but we all need each other. Get what I'm saying? But we create the same thing that we cause through our reactions. So we got to be mindful that when it says these scriptures are for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, we got to learn how not to just react, but to do what? Adapt. We have to learn, and we got to adapt, because these decisions that we make spiritually, physically, emotionally are going to cause a change in your life, whether you like it or not, right? So you want to make the decision that you make be the right one. It's better to measure twice and do what? Cut once, than to measure once and had to cut twice. Right? All right. Because now you got to go buy some more wood. When if you would have just took the time to measure twice. Proverbs 14:29. Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't no preacher. Everybody who claims to have understanding is not no preacher. Okay? Real quick, get that Romans. What is that? 12:9? Hold on, let me see something real quick. And then we'll jump into this. I want to answer that real quick. No, it ain't that one. Romans 10. Romans 10:14. Matter of fact, we can start at verse like 12. Romans 10:12.
Romans chapter 10, verse 12. For there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek, for the same master over all is rich unto all that call upon him. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the master shall be saved.
He said, ain't no difference between Jew or Greek, because whoever call upon the master, they're going to be what? They're going to be saved. A lot of people don't like this verse in the Bible, but it's in there. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If somebody call upon the name of Yahuwah and they honor him in a way that he says that he wants to be honored, salvation is for them too. Come on.
For whosoever shall call upon the name of the master shall be saved.
Whosoever shall do what?
Call upon the name of the master shall be saved.
Now this call ain't just saying, oh yeah, oh Yeshua. It's way more that go into that, right? It's action attached to that. It's a different ideology. It's a renewing of the mind, right? Your whole being has to call out, not just your mouth, right? Come on.
How then shall they call on him whom they have not known?
He said, how you going to call on somebody you don't know?
Or not believe, rather.
Or not believe. It's impossible. I can't call upon somebody to help me if I don't believe they coming, right? If we don't know Yah, how can we call on them? Not a thing. Keep reading.
And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard.
How can you believe in a man that you ain't heard? How can you believe in Yah if you ain't heard of him? You don't have to explain that. It's just that, right? Come on.
And how shall they hear without a teacher, preacher,
How can they hear without a what?
preacher, teacher?
This boy be running from that. Quab is a preacher.
I am a teacher.
Y'all ever heard him teach a lesson as a teacher?
You heard
You'd be like, "That's right, brother. Say that again." Y'all ever done that?
No,
He was preaching, wasn't he?
absolutely not.
That boy was preaching.
I am a teacher, sir.
Come on. He said, "How?" Read it again.
And how shall they hear without Travis or somebody like that? And how shall they preach,
How can they what?
teach,
How can they?
except they be sent?
Wait. That's what we need to get to right there. Read that again.
And how shall they preach except they be sent?
A lot of people go in the book and they try to teach the word of the Most High and preach the word of the Most High. A lot of people, and they do a lot more damage than good. I don't care if you say you're an Israelite, a pastor, or whatever. Everybody that go in this book ain't supposed to be the one to exhort it. Everybody can't do it, because if everybody did it, then who's gonna listen? Right? So everybody ain't a preacher. Right? He said, but how can they preach except they be what?
Sent.
Come on.
As it is written.
As it is what?
As it is written.
Come on.
How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the good news and of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
So Judas was chosen as a disciple. What is a disciple? A student, a taught one. But looking at his character, would you actually trust him to be somebody who preached the word? Nah, this ain't your job, brother. Just because you were put in the realm with these guys don't mean that that's what you're supposed to do, right? Come on.
But they have not all obeyed the good news.
They all ain't did what?
Obey the good news.
So you got to not only be sent, but you have to obey, right? Come on.
For Isaiah saith, Yahuwah, who hath believed our report? So then, faith come by hearing, and hearing by the word of Elohim. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. But I say, did not Israel know? First, Moses saith,
He said, didn't they know who first?
First, Moses?
They knew Moses, right? Moses was in a position to be able to exhort for them, right? To give them the word of the Most High. They knew him first, but everybody can't do it. But what did Korah try to do? Y'all remember the story? What did Korah try to do? You take on too much for yourself. We can go in here and do the same thing, man. But Yahuwah had to show. I chose them for this job. Korah and them had their own job. But I chose them to do this part. Feel what I'm saying? So everybody ain't a preacher, auntie. You know what I'm saying? But when we talking about reacting as opposed to adapting, when we picked up this word, man, I know me for certain. When I picked up this word, learning I was a brew, man, I couldn't wait to tell somebody. I couldn't wait to be the one to give the information, but I was only reacting. I didn't learn what it meant to be a preacher or how to give the message. So I did more harm than good, right? When somebody opposed what I thought or what I said, I went into a mode that just was not good. Yelling, screaming, you know what I'm saying? Telling people off, which did more hurt than good. Now people like, I don't want to deal with this, what you got going on, because of how you bringing it. That mean I wasn't ready to be no preacher and no teacher of the word, right? Proverbs 14. What I say, verse 29.
Proverbs 14:29. 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of ruach exalts his folly.
He said, he that is slow to what?
Wrath
He that is slow to wrath is what?
is of a great understanding.
Is of a what type of understanding?
Great understanding.
What would make a person slow to wrath? And it's not saying that they won't get to the wrath part. But what is the process of being slow to wrath?
Patience.
Patience. Because you got to really, to get to the point where I'm enraged, where I have wrath, I have had to sit there and consider, weigh it out, not just react, right? Come on.
He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of ruach exalts folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor.
James 1:19.
James chapter 1 and verse 19.
The principle in this is control your emotions. Do not just react. Learn, adapt. Come on.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear.
Be what?
Swift to hear.
Your reaction time to what he's telling you is for his hearing. He said, be what to hear?
Swift to hear.
Swift to hear. Does this involve you actually doing something with your hands? No. He said, be swift to hear and what?
And slow to speak.
Slow to what?
Slow to speak.
Involves your mouth. Hold your tongue. Watch your mouth. Don't just hear something and just react. Like Zach was talking about earlier, a lot of people don't try to listen to understand, but they're trying to be understood. So I want to talk as opposed to taking in what I need to take in so I can speak properly, right? Or speak and be educated in what I'm saying, right? Come on.
Slow to speak. Slow to wrath.
Slow to what?
Wrath.
Is wrath just a feeling? More times than not, wrath comes with what?
Actions. Destructive actions.
Right? So he's telling you, control your emotions. Proverbs 16:32. Proverbs 16:32. Because there's a decision that you got to make in your life that you can't take back. So if you're not understanding that you got to really consider it, you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. Proverbs 16:32.
Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
He said, he that is slow to anger is better than the what?
The mighty.
The mighty. Who would be the mighty? The strong.
Some strong person. Or,
right? He said, if you're slow to anger, then you are stronger than the what?
Than the mighty.
Than the mighty, than the one who's just going to react. Right? Floyd Mayweather is one of the most boring boxers in boxing history. Why though? He's slow to anger. He's not allowing, if I get hit, for me to just start a slugfest. I'm calculated. Oh, that's how he moved. Oh, that's how he. Boom. Now when he hit you, it's different, right? People say that's boring. Why? Because he ain't out there like Rocky Marciano. Getting beat all up, you know what I'm saying? He's calculated, right? What you guys are? That's right. The name of the game is to what? Hit and don't get hit. That means you have to be calculated. You can't just react. boom. Oh, you just hit me in my, right? You can't do that in boxing. You're going to get knocked out. And you already know. You see it on a fighter when he get mad and he just get the mad swing and you like, oh my gosh, he about to go down, right? You know it, especially if you understand boxing. You like, oh my God. When you see somebody street fighting and they doing all this, right? What you look at that and say, Qual?
He about to get murked.
He about to get knocked out, right? Read what it say.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
So that big brolic dude that's he gonna go down fast. If you be slow to anger, if you think Goliath went down really, really fast when it came to David, because David did what? He looked at what was going on.
Assessed it.
He assessed what dude had going on. He seen he had bad eyes. He ain't just go out there trying to fight with the guy. My man came out there and was like, oh yeah, he's so stupid.
He big, slow, got on all that heavy equipment. He can't move. Run right up on him, and he got bad eyesight. I got him.
Yeah, he assessed it.
Bam.
Knocked him out. Come on.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that rules his ruach.
He that rules his what?
His ruach.
He that rules his ruach is what?
Than he that takes a city.
Then he that does what?
Takes a city.
So somebody that can go in and forcibly take over a city doesn't amount to a person that can control their ruach? That's a powerful saying. That means that your reactions have to be so calculated that you can actually take over the ruler who ruled the city.
See, but in the physical world,
Yeah,
this is looked at completely the opposite way.
absolute.
This is viewed as, oh my goodness, he's so weak. He weak, man. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Yah, like in Numbers. When it's saying that he got the power to forgive, this shows his strength, right? Because it take a whole bunch of strength to be able to forgive somebody. So it's the same thing with this, but the world got this completely backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. You read a story where it says, I ain't gonna promote where it's from, but you got a conquering army, right? That's ready to go to war with this other group of people, right? Who are fewer in number. And the general of the one that's fewer in number says something to the effect of the best, the war is won in the mind. It's not won on the battlefield, right? So what he did was he got a bunch of women to get with all them soldiers, right? You know, a warrior or a soldier, more times than not, he been training. He ain't been with no women, right? Hey, all of y'all go over there and get with them. Now at a time where they're at their most vulnerable point, right? This man tells these women, hey, get those weapons away from them. Befriend them. So now when they get up, what do they see? They done been tricked, right? Now you got this army surrounding you, ready to throw down on you. It's more y'all, but we strapped. We're armed, right? They saw these women and they just went for it. That's what we call pimping, right? They was pimped, but they reacted. They didn't learn who their enemy was, right? Proverbs 15:18.
Proverbs 15 and 18. A wrathful man stirs up strife.
It says, what type of man?
A wrathful man.
What does it mean to be a wrathful man? Not just a man that was enraged or had wrath. It says a wrathful man. You are what? You're ruled by your rage. Everybody knows. You know when you are, the smallest thing can happen and you ready to do what? You ready to go all the way. But the world right now looks at that like, he a stepper. He bout that. He standing on business. No, he's stupid. He's a dummy. Because he leaves himself open for attack every time. You know how a rageful man is coming. Why? Because he all out in the open with it. You hear his nostrils come in the room before you see him. Right? Gotta control your emotions. It says a wrathful man is what?
A wrathful man stirs up strife.
But now, this wrathful man, go ahead. Proverbs 15 and 18. Now, this wrathful man who normally handles everything by force, but he's not really fighting right now. It says the wrathful man does what?
Stirs up strife.
So now he can't control his emotions to get to the people that he want to get to. So in order for him to feel what is that? Get that fulfillment from his wrath, he has to do what?
Stir up other people.
I gotta stir up other people. I want you just as riled up as me. Right? So now he's stirring up strife. Now everybody else is like, shh. Right? Now what does that cause? It calls for the destruction of everybody around him. Read that.
A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he that is slow to anger.
He that is what?
Slow to anger.
Does what?
Appeases strife.
That means that person that's slow to anger can meet that aggression and make them turn it down a notch. What you so mad for? You all right, brother? You good? You got some nice shoes on. Right? But you speak with understanding. That's what pretty much what I'm trying to get at. But this is a person that can control his emotions. When you can control your emotions, you are in control of your situations. Go ahead.
In y'all's mind, what is an alpha male? First thing really come to your mind. What is it?
Black Mike.
Yes. That's the image that the majority of the world sees in their brain. We see the bruling, the brawn, the guy that's willing to go in there and kick the table over and cuss everybody out. But was Mashiach an alpha male?
Absolutely.
It's a difference. We got to get this false stuff out of our brains.
Yeah. What we are finding out is the man that reacts the most without thinking in society is actually looked at the guy that is the guy. But the one who sits back and calculates, he stay behind the scenes. You know what I mean? He don't got to do that out in front with everybody. He don't got to be the one that got that crazy bravado. It's not the guy who yells that's the toughest guy in the room. It's the one that's quiet that you should probably be looking out for. Right? All in all, control your emotions because there is a decision that you got to make. There's a decision that has to be made. Anybody know what that decision that got to be made? When we talking about our salvation, our walk, what is the decision that has to be made? But you better make sure that you're calculated in it. The decision of life and death? In what way? Decide to do what you want to do, or you do what's best for you when it comes to Yah. What else? What's another one of these decisions? What we got? Anybody else? Give me Genesis chapter 17. Genesis chapter 17. Pick it up at verse 1.
Genesis 17 and 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahuwah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty El.
I am the who?
I am the Almighty El.
He the Almighty El. Right? And what did he say?
Walk before me.
What did he say?
Walk before me and be you perfect.
He said, walk before me and be perfect. Now, the going saying is, can't nobody be perfect. But what was required of Abram?
To be perfect.
It was required of him. This was not something that was suggested to him. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
And he said unto him, I am the Almighty El. Walk before me and be you perfect.
And what?
And I will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. Neither shall your name any more be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made you. And I will make you exceeding fruitful.
He said, I will do what?
I will make you exceeding fruitful.
Exceeding fruitful. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Anybody ever planted a tree before? What is a sure way to make sure that your tree grows in abundance? There's a process. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who? Pruning. What's pruning? Getting rid of the what? If you get rid of the dead limbs, what's going to happen? For my sisters in here that wear y'all hair, I heard of something called trimming the ends or cutting the ends or split ends or something like that. Clip your ends. Why y'all do that? He said they said, huh? It's to make it grow. So it look so be full. Cut the what? Cut the damage hair off so the other hair can. So it's kind of like the pruning process, right? Okay. Y'all know cutting something means that I have to make sure that I did it right. You know, if you cut something and it's wrong, how bad that can be. What they say, measure twice. Ladies, have y'all ever had somebody cut too much in your ear? How you feel about that? Right. I knew she was hating on me. She cut too much of my hair off. Right? Look, she bought hair herself. I ain't going to nobody without no hair no more. Right? Because that cutting process, you gotta trust somebody with that. Right? Because you don't want to cut the wrong stuff. This walk is all about the cutting. Right? But let's see something. So he says, walk before me, be you perfect. Then he said, I'm going to make this covenant with you. Verse 7.
And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you in their generations for an everlasting covenant to be an Elohim unto thee as to thy seed after you.
Come on.
And I will give unto you and to your seed after you the land wherein you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be Elohim.
How old is Abraham at this point? 99. Come on.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, you shall keep my covenant, therefore you and your seed after you in their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you.
We through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? These things were written aforetime. They were written for our what?
Loading.
Pay attention. Come on.
Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Every man child among you shall be what?
Circumcised.
And what?
And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you.
Abraham is how old?
99.
And he just got instruction that he had to do what? And then he told him to do it to himself. You're on, how old are you, man? 27. Young man. Brute. Right? If somebody told you, hey brother, go ahead and cut the foreskin off right now, you'll take him to Paul. We ain't got to do that no more, brother. But what is the thought process that come in with that? It's a little bit of what that pop in? A little bit of doubt. Because I'm with you. I know you can do all this. You said you was going to do this. You said you was going to do that. Cool. I'm rocking with you. Hey, yeah. You remember I was saying, like, walk before me perfect? Take that knife. Yeah, that one. Handle that. The thought process behind that is like, what? Right. Whoo! Right? Come on. What you got? I'm pretty sure they had some type of herb, but that don't matter. See, if it was something easy, he wouldn't have never asked them to do it. He had to prove them. He's making a covenant to be with him and his seed alone. Right? So when you get this type of thing put in front of you, what ought you to do? Let me think about this. Every man knows that. Has anybody ever been circumcised beyond being a child? Nobody in here? Okay, my father was. Okay? He was circumcised at 17 years old. All right? Fellas, what is the issue with being circumcised at 17 years old? All of the nerves is there. Okay? You get stitched up right after it happened, right? What happens in the morning? Bing, 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 bing. Oh. Right? That's an issue. Right? So before you just decide to cut on yourself, you thinking about all. Abraham is how old? Abraham 99. So when we look at the text and we look at what he had to do, we like, yeah, Abraham had to circumcise himself. We thinking it's cool. Because why? We already been circumcised. We ain't think about that. See, that 99 back then ain't like the 99 of the day. That 99 might have been a little bit different.
He had the good fruit.
You know what I'm saying? Abraham was still eating mandrakes. See, if you know your Bible, you know what I'm talking about. Right? But he had to consider this. Right? Come on. Verse 11.
Oh, back to 11.
Verse 11.
And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin.
And you go circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. And what?
And it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you.
So until you do this, covenant ain't established. Now, we don't know the time frame in between when he actually did it or not. But if it was me, if I'm being honest, well, it took me a little minute. Right? We going there. We going there. Understanding that this circumcision was very important, because in order to establish something with Yah, you got to be able to do what? You got to be able to cut on something. Verse 14.
And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin.
I'm sorry, hold on, wait, I'm sorry. Verse 12.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house of brought with money, or of any stranger which is not of your seed. He that is born in your house, and he that is bought with your money, must need be circumcised.
He got to be what?
Need be circumcised.
Now, I have a child. I have 2 man children. Okay? I went through the actual circumcision process. 8th day. Now, they tell you when you're at the hospital, you can just get the ring. Put the little ring on it. After a couple of days, foreskin fall off. You're good. I'm like, the Bible say on the 8th day, bro. I'm waiting till the 8th day. Okay? I waited. And I waited. And when my son went in there to get circumcised, it was like it was me getting circumcised. That's how I felt. And then I had to tend to his wounds every single day. Wasn't an easy process, y'all. I had to do this twice. Like, I love having boys, but that's one of them things, right?
Give me the boy still.
So not only did he have to circumcise himself, but everybody that was in his house. Ishmael had to be circumcised, y'all.
13.
He was 13 years old. Son, sit still, sit still. Think about it. I had to tend to my son's wounds many times in a day. He was 13, y'all. Every morning waking up. Ooh. You understand? So even though this is the Most High saying what he's saying, you got to be one, because once you start cutting, bro, you might as well finish the job. Huh? Ain't no cutting a little bit. Oh, man, no, this hurt too bad. You might as well finish. And it definitely wasn't no Ginsu. Right? Right? But what I'm saying is you have to make sure that you sure. I seen a thing that says, because we know right now he says that we have to circumcise our heart, right? It says the heart is truly circumcised when the things that you want are in alignment with the things that you do. What you desire is in alignment with what you do. So, like Paul says, there are things that I don't want to do, but I do them. That means that they're not in alignment, right? When your heart wants to do the right thing and your body follows, you have actually went through the circumcision of the heart. You get what I'm saying? Because something had to be completely cut off. Genesis 3. Some brothers would be like, oh man, see, the Most High didn't have circumcision from the very beginning. So look, I ain't arguing that. But he said that we are supposed to be of the seed of who? Abraham. Faith like Abraham. You use Adam as an example, you're going to fall short every time. Adam participated in some circumcision, though. Let's see. Genesis chapter 3. Let's pick it up at verse 15.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception in sorrow. You shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. And unto Adam he said, because you have listened unto the voice of your wife, and has eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake, in sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life.
Drop down to verse 22.
Verse 22. And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man is become as one of us.
He has become as what?
One of us.
And what?
To know good and evil.
To do what?
To know good and evil.
To know good and evil. We've spoken on this before. What do you have that is like the tree of good and evil? The Torah. Absolute. But what do you have that is like the Torah? I mean, that is like that tree? Your decisions, your heart, your mind. What is it also known as in the text? Your heart. Your heart. How is that? Jeremiah chapter 17. We coming back. How is your heart like the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Let's see.
Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is
the what?
The heart
is what?
Is deceitful.
The heart is what?
It's deceitful above all things.
Your heart is deceitful above what?
All things.
Above everything. Come on.
And desperately wicked.
And what is it?
And desperately wicked.
Come on.
Who can know it?
Who can know it? Read.
I, Yahuwah, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
So what is he searching for in that heart if he knows that it's deceitfully wicked? He's looking for the good. He's looking for intention. The Most High says to love me with all your what? Mind. And so he's telling you inside of you where you put this law at, there can actually be good in you. So off the rip, the heart is wicked. It's deceitful. It's evil. But what is also in you? Or what is he telling you to put in you? Good. Put the good in you. So now you have the tree of good and evil directly inside of you. You understand? Let's go back to Genesis. Chapter 3.
Genesis chapter 3.
Verse 22.
Verse 22. And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
Therefore do what?
Therefore Yahuwah Elohim sent him forth from the garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man and placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So what did he do with Adam in this garden? Cut him off.
Pruned him.
He pruned him out. He cut him off. In order to keep the purity of the Garden of Eden, He put something there that had swords going both ways and said, you can't come in here. He just severed a tie. He severed a tie. He had to cut him off from out of there. It's the same thing that you got to do in your life. Anybody know anything about a hammerhead worm? Hammerhead worm? Anybody? What do you know about a hammerhead worm? It'll destroy your plants and all that different type of stuff, right? They say it's deadly to certain things, right? What's interesting about a hammerhead worm is let me ask y'all something. What type of kids would y'all? When y'all saw worms crawling around, what did you do? Run? Okay, that's different. That's different. You picked it up. You let it crawl all on you, slide on it. It was kind of weird, Lexus. You smashed it. You smashed. Sheesh. Well, I mean, it's kind of bold, but anybody else? What else you do with the worm? You did what? You cut it because you knew it wasn't going to die. You took it fit. Okay. Oh, man. Golly. All right, I don't want to know no more. I'm okay. You put it in vinegar? Did you say you put it? Oh. So when we had growing up, I was watching Dragon Ball Z, right? And there was a character called Piccolo. And when you cut Piccolo's limb off, it grew back. So somehow we found out that worms was the same way. You see a worm, we would go and cut the worm down the middle, right? You cut the worm down the middle and it still keep on going. And it grows that little piece back, right? But the other part of it dies, right? This is an earthworm. So in order for this worm to continue living in that way, and sometimes it grew back, even that tail part grew back thicker, right? And it had to be cut off, right? Now, a hammerhead worm is a little bit different. You cut a hammerhead worm down the middle, what you think happens? Both sides grow. It ain't just that side keep on going. The part you cut off grows ahead. And it keep on pushing. Right? Now, which worm do you think you ought to be? Should you be the hammerhead worm? Or should you be the earthworm? Hammerhead. You like, if they cut me, two of me coming back. Earthworm. Why you say earthworm? The part that you cut away, you are supposed to let die. See, with the hammerhead worm, if we put that in this type of instance, we understand if it gets cut, both sides is going to grow. I'm going to cut this off, but don't realize that it's coming back, and it's coming back stronger, and it's living just like how it was, if not stronger, because where it was the back end, where it was the middle, now it's got its own head. Right? But the earthworm, once you cut that thing off, that last part died. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. See, a lot of us came into this and our reaction time was just, we was like this, like this, like this. We done made some statements and did some things that we can't really take back because we ain't consider. Let's see what it say though.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. And you shall be Kodesh unto me, for I, Yahuwah, am Kodesh, and have severed you.
He said, I've done what?
I have severed you.
What does it mean to sever something? It means to cut it off. He led off with saying, I am Yahuwah. And what?
I am Kodesh, and have severed you from other people.
He said, I've done what?
Severed you from other people.
I severed you from other people. He cut you off from other people. Read.
That you should be mine.
That you should be what?
Mine.
That means that without the cutting off of the other people, that we couldn't have belonged to him. That means that he would have to share us in a way. Right? Read it one more time.
And you shall be Kodesh unto me, for I, Yahuwah, am Kodesh, and have severed you from other people, that you should be mine.
Go ahead. That's Leviticus 20 and 26. He says, so I cut you off from them so you can be mine. In order for Abraham to enter into that covenant with Yahuwah, he had to bring him a token. He had to cut his foreskin off and bring him a token in order for him to agree and be with Yah in this. But what we try to do in our life is we don't want to cut it. We'll make it seem like we done cut it off, because that's still a safe haven over there. So whenever this not going right over here, I can go back over here. But if it's cut and it's dead, how can you go back? Romans chapter 6. If it's cut off and it's dead, how can you ever go back? You can't. But we ain't necessarily made that cut. We still measuring. It's been 10 years. Measuring should be about done, right? Because if you don't make the cut yourself, you're going to end up getting cut anyway. Romans chapter 6 and verse 1.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Elohim forbid.
He said Elohim do what?
Elohim forbid.
Come on.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know you not that so many of us as were immersed into Yahushua HaMashiach were immersed into his death?
They were immersed into his what?
Into his death?
Now, when he died, did he die forever? No. No, he didn't. What transpired in Mashiach's death? His flesh died. Why? Couldn't inherit the kingdom. But why couldn't his flesh inherit the kingdom? Why couldn't? Why did he have to die? To cover us? What else? Because he what? To defeat sin and death? Yes. What else? He had to attain what he had before. Come on, I'm looking for something. What did he have on him? He was full of it. He didn't commit it, but he was full of it. We are all microcosms of something. So your child is a product of their parents, right? The body. Let's talk about the body. The body, when the body senses that there is something dangerous in it, some type of virus, some type of sickness, what does everything in your body do? It attack it, because this is detrimental to the system. If this get in and crashes into a major part of the system, the rest of the body is going to shut down. So the body sends these signals out for everything to go and attack this particular organism so it can be flushed out, so it can be cut off and killed out of the body, right? Mashiach stood in the gap and became the virus. You understand what I'm saying? He became the virus. And because he became the virus, what did the Most High have to do according to his system? I got to cut him off. Give me that Daniel 9. Come on. Yeah.
Cutting off the root for when it grows. You got to cut the root off so it can grow back what?
Yeah.
That's all in the same line with Messiah dying for to cut off.
Exactly. Exactly. It had to go through one in order for the body to live. Right? What you got?
We know that the law was supposed to allow us to sin, right?
Said the
Okay, but what about what Adam did? When Eve did, that was sin too, though. That's how we inherited sin, right? Okay. So then Adam, when Mashiach, he came, he was actually a representation of Adam.
Yeah.
Okay? And he came to actually to undo what Adam did. Mankind. Would it have any relationship with what Israel dealing with, or this is for all the human race? Because the whole race comes from Adam.
Agreed. This is the reason why we can't just say that we can't just cut off everybody out of this conversation. He came to be the second Adam. Remember, we have stories and sub-stories in the Bible. Everybody try to take one and make it the whole picture. When Yahuwah is way too big for just to put one thing and make it no, it's way bigger than that, right? Yahuwah's vision for mankind was to be righteous, right? But he sent it through Israel for him to do it, for him to bring on Mashiach, which became that second Adam, to die. He became sin, right? When he says, Yah so loved the world, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, when he says, Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? A lot of people will make it seem like that world, the world of Israel, the world of, right? No. He said what he said. He said he so loved the world, right? If he told you in the book, he says to be in friendship with the world is enmity with Elohim, what world is he talking about then?
So, well, he could be talking, well, he's talking about the world in general. I'm saying, if you go back to the way it was set up with Adam,
Yeah.
that's how I was raised believing that.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you get into this law, and then everything starts from the law,
Yeah.
that comes where the conflict starts.
No conflict.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm saying we can do a breakdown, but just sometimes you can get a little bit confused, though, because we're being taught that he was dealing with the world of Israel. At least that's what I was taught.
Yes, sir.
The world of Israel is basically dealing with different cultures, different nations and people in this world. That's how I was taught.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit confusing, but then it do make sense in the end if you go back to the original way that it was really easy, people really coming to correct what Adam did. Then that would extend. That makes sense for him to later extend what he did to the world, even though he was dealing with Israel, because he gave the law to Israel, and they were supposed to be the people that spread the word in the first place. They were the ones that would be doing it. So I guess he just went another route to get his mission accomplished. But whatever he set out to do, it had to be done.
Absolutely. He used Israel to accomplish his goal for everybody, right? He says he has no pleasure in the death of them that die, right? He created all of these creations, and he don't have no pleasure in none of them perishing, right? Unless you do something that, but he still has no pleasure in it. What did he find pleasure in? It said it pleased him to do what?
Bruise Mashiach.
It pleased him to bruise Mashiach. He didn't have no pleasure in the death of people that died, but it pleased him to actually have to kill his son. Because this is all of that anger, all of that wrath from all of mankind, from start to finish. I get to take it out on my son. But I prepared a body for my son. I just got to make sure he can go through it. All right? Daniel 9:27.
Daniel 9:27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many.
With who?
With many.
Come on.
For 1 week. And in the midst of the week.
In the what?
In the middle of the week.
What happened?
He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of the abomination, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and the determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Hold on, wait. Maybe I missed a word. Go back to that, hold on, wait. Give me 1 sec. Two seconds. Jump over to Isaiah 53.
What verse you want?
What verse did I have you reading in Daniel?
No, 27.
Isaiah chapter 53. Pick it up at verse 5.
Isaiah 53 and verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
We are what?
We are healed.
So he had to be cut off in order for the body to be healed. Go back to Daniel chapter 9, but pick it up at verse 26.
Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks shall Mashiach be cut off.
He said he shall be what?
Cut off.
So he had to be cut off. Remember, he became sin, so he had to do what?
Cut off.
He had to be cut off. What is this a form of? Circumcision, pruning. He had to be pruned in order for the body to do what? Grow. In order for the body to flourish, he had to be cut off. Read.
But not for himself.
Come on, he said, but it wasn't for himself, and what?
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city.
So something had to transpire in order to cause a change to happen. Mashiach had to be cut off in order for this change to transpire. There was a circumcision that had to happen, right? Let's jump over to John chapter 20. Pick it up at verse 9.
John chapter 20 and verse 9. For as yet they knew not the scriptures that he must rise again from the dead.
He had to do what?
Rise again from the dead.
So even though he was cut off, he wasn't cut off completely. He was going to do what?
Rise again.
He was going to rise again. This is that pruning process. This is that circumcision. He had to be cut, but it wasn't completely. It was for the better or the greater good of the people. Right? Read on.
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home, but Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping, and she wept. She stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth 2 angels in white, sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of the master had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest you? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my master, and I know not where they have laid him. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back, and saw Yahusha standing, and knew not that it was Yahusha. And Yahusha saith unto her, Woman, why weepest you? Whom seekest you? She, supposing him to be the gardener. What? saith unto him, Sir, if you have borne him, hence tell me where you have laid him,
Come on.
and I will take him away. Yahusha saith unto her, Mary. She turns herself and saith unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master. Yahusha saith unto her, Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and to your Father, and to my Elohim and your Elohim. Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen Yahusha, and that he had spoken these things unto her. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the dark doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Yahusha and stood in the midst and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. And when he had so said, he shewed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the Master. Then saith Yahusha to them again,
What type of confidence do you think that this caused in these men? He just died in their faces. He was cut off from the living. Right? What type of confidence do you think that you would have when you see him walking back through these doors? No fear. Right? Because what this pruning did, what this circumcision, this cutting off did, was create something in these men that can't be taught. It had to be felt. Because they had a job to go and do the same exact thing for the body to be able to grow. Right? Certain things got to happen in order for the body to grow, and things have to be cut off. Things have to die. Romans chapter 16. You got to imagine it. These men going and creating these congregations and dealing with all of these people. What you think transpired? You think everything was smooth sailing? No. At some point in time, a pruning had to take place. Go ahead. To their old ways. All right? Come on. 17.
Romans chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions.
He said, do what?
Mark them which cause divisions.
When a person calls division, what are they doing? They're allowing chaos to come in. They're entering in strife. What type of men do this?
Wrathful.
Men that are full of what?
Wrathful.
Men that are full of wrath, right? So, what do you think they had to do in order to get these things together? You gotta cut them off. Read.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them.
And do what?
And avoid them.
What you gotta do to them? You gotta cut them off. Read.
For they that are such serve not our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
Deceive the who?
The hearts of the simple.
They deceive the hearts of the simple. So now the heart is already deceitfully wicked, right? But now you got men that come about and they weasel they way into the brotherhood, and what do? They cause divisions. At some point in time, Paul is telling you that you have to avoid these people. You got to cut them off. We all been given a job and we got to make the decision. See, cutting people off in your life means that you have to cut a part of you off. Mashiach went through and had to dead himself. Abraham had to cut his own foreskin. Right? How much more you? How much more you when it comes to things and people in your life that's going to cause strife and cause division and separate? Because it's going to happen one way or another. Either you going to be the one cutting or Yahuwah going to be the one cutting. You'd rather it be you. Read.
For your obedience is come abroad.
Your what?
Your obedience is come abroad unto all men. I am glad, therefore, on your behalf, but yet I would have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil. And Yahuwah of peace shall bruise Satan's under your feet shortly. The grace of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach be with you.
Romans 12:1.
Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice.
So what is it?
A living sacrifice, Kodesh, acceptable unto Yahuwah, which is your reasonable service.
What's a sacrifice? What had to happen to a sacrifice? Right? Ultimately, the end was death. The end was death. No different than Mashiach. Right? You got to make this. He says that you make your body a living sacrifice to do what? That it's holy and acceptable. What did Yahuwah tell us that he did in the beginning? He said, for Yahuwah is holy, and to make us a part of him or to be his, he had to do what with us?
Sever us.
He said, I had to sever you from other people. I had to sever you from other people. If you're going to be holy and acceptable, you got to do the same thing. It ain't the easiest thing, but you got to do the same thing. You have to create the circumcision, or else you're going to get cut off on your own. All right? Read what you got.
And be not conformed to this world.
Be not what?
Conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what that is good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim.
How do you renew your mind? Put something new in there than what was in there before. Right? You got to do it. Think on these things. You can't just react. It's over and over again. That man told you don't be conformed to this world. You know what we do when it comes to this world? We create things. We create sub-realities based off what we see on our phones. Right? I was just talking to my wife about this. We're about to cut it off after this. I just want to say this. We create sub-realities, right? Anybody know how many people are in the world?
They tell you 7 billion. I don't believe none of that.
We don't know. Matter of fact, they say it's about 330 million people in America. Right? That's what they say. Now, check this out. Take this mentality, because he says, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Don't conform to this world. Police brutality. I mean, you can hate me if you want to, but I'm going to say what I got to say. Right? Police brutality. How many of y'all know about police brutality? Right? About how many people in a year get killed by police? Anybody know? Let's just say 100. Let's just say 100. How many people is it in the world? In America, did they say?
320 mil.
320 million people. And 100 cases of people getting killed by police. Not saying that them 100 people don't mean nothing. But 100 to 320 million. Is this an American epidemic? No, but we create the reality, right? So it's in our phones, right? Police brutality, the black man is getting hit like this and like that, and they're killing black people all over the country, and this and that and this and that, right? Because we sucking ourselves into the idiot box, right? Check it out. So now you get pissed and you react. So now when you get pulled over, instead of being the regular dude that you was before, you crack your window. License and registration. What's your badge number? What you pulled me over for? Now, you just done something here. You just reacted based off of what you saw in the media. Right? Now, I'm a cable technician. When I go to do my job, if I go in your house and I'm here to fix your stuff, and when I get there, you telling me my job, or how to do my job, or this is really the problem, that's really the problem. You know what the first thing that happens? I get agitated. Right? And I don't even be wanting to fix your cable after that, because you could have did it yourself, which is what I'm here for. Right? Now these people is doing a job. So they pull you over, they've been watching the same idiot box you've been watching. So now they know that these people is really arming themselves and gearing themselves to fight against the police. So they automatically gonna be on what? They on 10 too. Right? We're creating a sub-reality. He said, don't conform to this world. This is a different type of conforming, but I want y'all to just peep what's going on. Right? Now, I'm barking orders at him. You work for me. You a public servant. What the truth mean in that moment? Absolutely nothing. So now, instead of him going through regular protocol, he gonna snatch your door open. Eyes on. Right? All because we watched the box and it told us what to do. It told us how to act. Right? My wife said, Trav, why is it that they she said it seemed like this is a thing against women, because these men that turn transgender, they go into women's sports and they winning awards and they're allowing it to happen. This is an attack on women. Like, what you mean? She said, because they don't talk about the women that's becoming transgender men and going and winning stuff over here. I said, because it ain't really happening. It ain't really happening on either side like that. But the box told you it did. So now let's put logic into this. The lesser men who weren't able to win nothing over here, not even a woman, that's why they became one, right? Turn transgender and go over here to win stuff.
Call me my proper pronouns.
Proper pronouns, all that, right? How many people have you came in contact with that you had to call a proper pronoun other than what they is? How many people though? Just on the top of your head, how many people you done encountered? 30, 40. How many people you think you've encountered in your lifetime? You're dropping a bucket, right? But this thing, this argument that's being pushed online, is like it's everywhere. When you go to the store, oh man, you might don't say, hey man, how you doing? Don't say that. They gonna, you're creating a reality that's not a reality. So now you're reacting instead of sitting back and thinking, this ain't really what this is. But you're conforming to the world and don't even realize it, because you can't take your face off of this idiot box, right? You're causing sub-realities. How many transgender women that turn into men do you know that's playing sports in men's world? Do it change their anatomy? Do it make them more strong? Do it? No, you wouldn't hear about them dominating in men's sports because they still women at the end of the day, right? So creating an arrow from what you see, you're conforming yourself and you're reacting based off what you see instead of sitting back and thinking about it. And I'm only bringing this up because this is something small that we don't realize that we do. And this in turns into what we do on a regular with one another. Now here's a reality that's created by something that somebody said about somebody that's in here. Hey, such and such said, such and such doing, such and such, and you take that and you like, man, such and such said, such and such doing. Now when you go and talk to them, or you be around them, the handshake like this. What's up, bro? Because you just allowed the same thing you did on this phone to happen to you in real life. Renew your mind is something that's different. You have to cut off stuff that's not, that if it don't feel good to cut off. That means your device that's in your hand too. I told a brother the other day, I said, if you want to be alone, just go and sit in your car and turn your phone off. He's like, no, but I'm still by myself. That's what you were thinking. I'm still by myself. No, you're not. You're not. You don't even realize how much peace you can get if you actually cut that off from out of your life like that. And he hit me back the next day like, man, I didn't realize how hard it was to just sit and think on my own without my phone. Because we're not able to cut off something that actually turns off. How can we turn off something that's inside of us that's always going? We got to be ready to circumcise the uncomfortable to be a part of the whole. You know what I'm saying? Cutoff is necessary. You know how people are like, man, my cutoff game's strong, and they be lying for real. They be lying because they be with the same people afterwards that they said that they cut off from before. They be lying. You got to really be about that to be with y'all. That man made this man cut his skin. He made that man cut his skin, y'all, at 99. What are we willing to do now to cut off the foreskin of our hearts? That's all I got. With that, I say shalom. Questions, comments, concerns?
Love it, you hate it. Teach the pruning. Part 2 next week. Continue it. Part 2.
For part 2, we going outside. We got to wait till the summertime. We got to wait till the spring. We're going to actually do some pruning.
You might have to be buzzing or drinking a little bit if you're 90 days or any age if you get it cut off. I mean, I don't know.
If you drinking and you go cut your foreskin, you might cut your whole skin.
Or you get somebody else to do it.
I don't want to imagine it, brother. I don't even want to think about it. Put me to sleep and lock my arms and legs down to the bed.
I ain't gonna be able to do it.
No, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. But think about Israel. Like when he said, "Cut you off from among your people," he not destroying all of Israel. He cutting off the bad, so the whole can flourish. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing on the chat out. Nate. You got it. All right, the official count. Elder just sent it to me. He says it's 7.6 billion people in the world and 332 million people in the United States alone.
The book says Israel itself would be innumerable, that nobody could number just Israel by itself. So they cannot possibly know how many people.
You said how many people's in the United States last year? However many they said.
How many people fill out the census?
Nobody in this room. We ain't part of the count.
Yeah, we have three. We have three in my house. Yeah. Yeah. Write that down for me. There's three of us here. Get out of here.
You said what? Don't be racist, brother. Don't be racist. Who ain't talking about Issachar like that, man? Leave Issachar alone. We ain't tripping on y'all Issachar. Y'all do your thing, man. Announcements. We got March the 5th and March the 6th. We have Purim. March 5th and March 6th, we got Purim coming up. Huh? Yeah. So we're sponsoring.
We are sponsoring a family, so we need kitchen supplies like cups and dishes, those have nothing fancy. We need anything. It can be classic cups, it could be something you get from family. I put it in there, but So we are sponsoring a family. They do need a lot of stuff. So things, yes, we are adopting a family. So they need kitchen supplies like forks, spoons, knives, plates, cups. You can go to anywhere and get it as long as it's new. You don't want something that's broken and chipped and stuff. It don't have to be new, I guess, but if it's used, make sure it's generally used. You can get it from somewhere else where something you would want to use, something you want to present to somebody that's coming to your house, not just some trash. It can feminine products, hygiene products. This things you would basically stuff for your house. We're trying to get their house in order, cleaning supplies, soap, deodorant, toothpaste. We're not buying any clothes or anything right now, just most of the house stuff. Anything you think of, like light bulbs, blankets, pillows, broom, mop, dish rags, towels, anything that you would, it's a staple for a house. Like if you look at a house warmer and you would protect to somebody, basically, think something like that. We're trying to give them like a house warmer. For those who are on the stream, you can, if you want to participate, you can donate to Chosen Feast and just mark it Purim. We're going to do it. This is happening on the 5th, so we got to kind of hurry up with it. It's not something we can delay on for this one. We have to be able to get it and pack it up, and then we're going to try to take it to them. And then on the 6th, we will be here having a gathering, a dinner, whatever. On that day, that's a Monday. This is our people. The first day we're giving away to giving our portion or our alms.
It's not going to a Caucasian family, brother, if that's what you're asking. We're giving to a family in the hood, you know what I'm saying? But I thought that's what you meant when you said our people. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Hey man, back there, what we got?
This is someone Siobhan knows that she knows that we were trying to get it through Human Services, but that did not work out. So it's hard to partner with a lot of these government organizations. So we're relying on people who we know.
What you got, brother?
Okay, so it doesn't matter where they're from, skin, complexion, or nationality, or anything like that. I want to know if is any damage done to the house or any leaks or anything like that, because
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think they need a new house or structure. I think they just are struggling right now. They have a lot of needs. So
I can make a lot of that happen.
okay, we can talk to you. We'll talk to you after class. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Not pertaining to this. My daughter, because she asked me a question, but I don't have the answer. I'm gonna bring it to you. She was asking me about.
Hold on, wait. Let's close this out real quick. So March 5th will be given to that family. March 6th will be here so we can give to me. That was the day I was born. You know what I'm saying? So when we come together, keep that in mind. You know, whatever you bring, cards, whatever, money. I want a PlayStation 5. Whatever y'all decide to bring, it's still Purim. So if y'all want to give, you know what I'm saying, that's a reason to give. You know what I mean? It ain't no party for me. It's a party for Purim. I'm just going to be here, and that's the day that I was born. Got you. Is it any more?
And then, coming up, Pesach is coming up. The next new moon is going to be on March 22nd, which means 14 days from that.
March 22nd, first new moon of the year. Hallelujah. Let's start the year off right. All right, what's after that?
Then unleavened bread is going to be the 5th.
Passover is on the 4th.
At evening.
For anybody that has questions about Passover, we will be getting together for Passover. April the 4th is Passover. April the 5th is the first day of unleavened bread. April the 11th is the last day of unleavened bread. Hallelujah.
Cannot work on those days.
Yes, don't work on April the 5th and the 11th.
Yes.
The 4th you're okay to work. It's Pesach. We'll be getting together that night. But yeah.
That's it.
That's it for right now.
We will have a fundraiser coming up this month. We will give you more information probably next week. We'll
Yes,
get
indeed.
together.
Hallelujah. Brother Johnny, what you got?
Yeah, my daughter was asking, she's asking a lot of questions because she's getting ready to go back home. And so she wanted to take information with her. I was explaining to her about fringes. She knows about that. She was asking about women that will wear head wraps. Why and do we have to wear them? Do they have to wear them every day? I automatically like, yeah, you know. Cause she's watching, you know, as she called her Miss Tamika and doing things. She knows what she wears them, and you know, so she's looking and she's asking. So she can help me explain, you know, just why do women wear them? When they're supposed to wear them? Is it an everyday thing?
Culturally, hair wraps showed when women were married or espoused to men in the scriptures, right? Or had some type of head, right? You see where women, when they saw their husband for the first time, they went and covered their heads up, right? Like I said, culturally, our women wear them for fashion and things of that nature, right? Or to actually show that they're a part of this culture. Is it something that has to be done on a daily basis? Like, is it sin if you don't do it? No. But culturally, this separates our women from other women, right? In the book of Corinthians, it talks about women praying, right? And having their heads covered when they pray. So when you absolutely know that you're going to be praying, if you're going to be listening to the word, reading your word, cover your head, right? Fringes are something that are it's a law for us to wear, right? So when you go out, when you're in the outside world, you want to wear your fringes. That's what that's a law. That's an actual law. Hey, you got to have your fringes on. Make sure you wear them. They're to identify. If you, let's just say you get ready to go and do the wrong thing, right? You at school, you with your friends, and you think you want to tell a lie, right? Fringes are supposed to be there for you to look down on and say, nope, I'm not supposed to do this. This reminds me of the commandments. This reminds me that the Most High is with me. I'm not about to do that, right? So it's a reminder, right, for you to keep the commandments. So you want to wear those. I know your dad probably fringed up everything that you have. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Your coat got fringes on it probably. You know what I'm saying? You know, if they had fingernail fringes, I'm pretty sure Sister Tamitra would have fingernail fringes. Okay? But yeah, you want to make sure that you're wearing your fringes. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely a requirement by law. So that's the head wrap and the fringes in a nutshell. Now, if this is something that you like to do, that you want to do, embrace it. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody tell you, oh, no, you ain't got to do. Embrace it if this is something that you want to do, right? Because there's beauty in covering yourself. You get what I'm saying? Wearing your dresses, your skirts, your head wraps, there's beauty in that. You know what I mean? So just if that's something that you want to do and you like to do, hold on to that and keep that. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns? Johnny, did I do a good job?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Passover coming up, we did put out on the board, but we know the color.
They just made all them announcements.
We try to do that, but it's still, everybody's not, look at the board like that, cause we still asking the same questions, so.
Yeah, he
Are you talking about the dates and stuff, or are you talking about colors?
colors. It is black and gold for first day.
First day of unleavened bread, right?
Right. And
That was the question. People, somebody, Rebecca was asking me yesterday, are we having it on Passover evening, or are we doing it?
The colors,
No, what day are we gathering?
we're
Passover evening or the first day of unleavened?
both.
Okay, we're doing both.
Both. We'll be here on Passover evening. We'll be here on the first day of unleavened bread. I plan, me. Y'all know how I am. I plan on gathering every day. Me, I.
On that, yeah, we didn't prepare food, so we didn't know that.
Hey, look, now. Me. All right. Now I know that ain't how, you know, me. If that's something that we're gonna do as a collective, I'm pretty sure that the ACA's gonna give the okay or the nay, and we'll be able to announce it the whole nine.
so it's the gold and black and gold for the fourth day or on the fifth day? For the week?
I can go on Passover evening.
Or on the first day of unleavened?
Doing the colors?
That's gonna be difficult for a lot of people.
Oh, the same colors on those 3 days. Oh yeah. So he's be saying wearing the same colors. Unleavened bread, first and last day. So just switch it up. That make it easier. Passover, unleavened bread, and last day. Black and gold. So on your first day, you can wear all black with a gold accent. You know what I'm saying? For my old school players, you go get out that gold suit with that black pinstripe. You know what I'm saying? For my old players. You know what I mean? You can switch that up for the second day. On the last day, you go, you know what I'm saying? You want to go holler at my Zadik, you know what I mean? He can get you fresh with the black and the gold suede joint, you know what I'm saying? With the gold around like the Wakanda, you know what I mean? So you can switch it up. But the variation should be black and gold. I think that makes it way easier. That way we ain't fumbling through what day, which color is this, that, and the third. Hallelujah. Is there anything else?
Let's pray out neat. Make sure you come next week. They're gonna be special.
Make sure you come next week. It's going to be special. Y'all hear that? That's coming from Quab. Y'all know when he say something like that, it's something like that.
Yep, so.
All right?
Make your way out.
Make sure you dress in your finest threads. Okay? Come on out. Get your hair done. Fellas, cut your hair. You know what I'm saying? See Bob on Friday. You know what I mean? Just make sure you come next week. Hallelujah. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. Pray out. Pray out. Pray out. Pray out. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. We gonna pray. Pray out. Pray out. Zach, where you at, brother?
All right, all minds clear? Father, we give you praise, honor, and esteem today. We thank you for your goodness and your faithfulness. We thank you for the word that we received, Father. Father, we ask that you allow us to be able to take the cut, Father, and to do what's right, to examine ourselves, Father, and to remove those things that are unlike you, to lay aside every weight of sin that is easy to beset us, Father, to cut it off and to allow it to die, Father. We ask you to allow us to continue to crucify our flesh daily, Father. We ask you to be with those who are sick. We ask you to continue to be with the Ziegler family, the father of the family, the brother who lost his home, whose child burned down the home, Father. Pray for Brother Otis as well, Father, and his request, Father. You know all the needs. You know each circumstance and situation, Father. You're able to do exceedingly abundantly above, Father. You know before we ask. You're a good Father. You hold no good thing from us, Father. We stand here touching and agreeing and believing these things, Father, and you hear us when we pray. Father, we ask you to continue to keep us throughout the week. Allow us to be thankful, Father, for everything that we have, for we know that every good and perfect gift comes from you. Father, we ask you to allow the food to be nourishment for our body and make it, allow us to enjoy the rest of this day and our fellowship together until we come again at the appointed time. All the things we give thanks and praise in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. So be it.
Avinu Sheba Shemayim,
Avinu Shema Shemayim,
Ikadosh,
Ikadosh,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Tabo,
Tabo,
Malkuka,
Malkuka,
Yase,
Yase,
Rasonka,
Rasunka,
Bares,
Baret,
Kasher,
Asher,
Naasha,
Nasha,
Bashmayim,
Bashamayim,
Tain Lanu,
Lanu,
Hayon,
Hayon,
Lekim,
Lakim,
Kikanu,
Kikanu,
Usla,
Usla,
Lanu,
Lanu,
Ashmatenu,
Ashmatenu,
Kasher,
Kasher,
Sokim, Anaknu,
Anagnu,
Lasher,
Asher,
Ashmu,
Lasnu,
Lanu,
Lanu,
Wa'al, Tabinu,
Tabinu,
Lede,
Lede,
Masah,
Masah,
Ki, Im, Hasalanu, Mi, Hara, Ki, Ka, Hamamlaka,
Mamlaka,
Wadi Bara, Wadi Foret,
Atibre,
Lo Amen, Well I mean, so be it. Hallelujah.
Oh my God.